Hello everyone, my name is Helga and you're on my anime channel. Fall has officially begun and there are just a few days remaining before the fall 2020 anime start airing. Fall has always been my favorite season, that's why I tend to expect a lot from the titles that come out in October. I always hope that they will give me some cozy autumn or Halloween vibes. And today I will try to give my predictions on which titles of the upcoming season will become hits and which will probably be left unnoticed. So let's go. Unlike the summer season, in which I was watching Fire Force, ReZero, and SAO Alicization, in this one the continuing titles are the ones that I haven't checked out before, so it will make no sense for me to predict whether they will be successful or not. But there is one remake that I'm very excited to check out, and it's Higurashi When They Cry New. I'm looking forward to it for several reasons. First, I haven't finished the second season of the original, which is supposed to reveal all the mysteries of the show. So, although I have already experienced this story, I can still be invested in it. I don't really know why this happened, but it seems I got a little overwhelmed with the plot. And now, when I will be watching it just one episode a week, I hope to finally finish it. Secondly, it's licensed by Wakanim and going to be dubbed by my favorite Russian dub actors, so I'm thrilled to hear their interpretations of the characters' personalities. As for the Japanese voices, they've kept the original cast. If you're not familiar with the story of When They Cry, it's a mystery thriller slash horror anime which starts with the main character moving to a small, seemingly peaceful village and quickly beginning to unravel the village's dark secrets. I personally don't like gore and violence in media, but the atmosphere of a combat thriller in rural Japanese surroundings is what draws me towards this show. If you've watched and enjoyed Shiki, you are very likely to enjoy this title too. Next, based on the popularity on my anime list, comes the anime called Sorcery Fight, that is supposed to be an action supernatural show. The main character is a sporty high schooler who is a member of an occult club. One day, he and other members break the seal of a cursed object that, I believe, lets out the demons. This plot sounds quite intriguing, and I've heard great things about the source material, so I think I'll check it out and see if I like it. But the title that I'm almost 100% sure that I will enjoy is called Over the Moon for You. It's about a boy who one day met a girl that he liked and confessed her feelings for her. But she said that she would only have a relationship with him if they got married, which he accepted. Then she somehow disappeared from his life and came back only a few years later, expecting that he would keep his promise and marry her. And this title claims to be about their married life, which sounds right up my alley. I have a weakness for romance between two people who barely know each other but have to live under the same roof and figure out ways to find some common ground and start developing deep feelings for each other. So hopefully this is what this story is gonna be about, and I can't wait to watch it and see if it's really so. Next on the list is a series called The Day I Became a God, which is a new Jun Maeda's project. It's about a high school graduate who meets a mysterious girl who claims that she is an omniscient god and that the world will end soon. At first, he's skeptical but then becomes convinced. She moves in with him and they spend a summer together. I'm really intrigued to see whether it will be as lighthearted as it sounds or if it will be as complex as Maeda's previous works. You may know him as a creator of Canon, Air, Clannad, and Angel Beats, among which Air is my personal favorite. It's one of a few anime titles that I was bawling my eyes out watching. I'm not a big fan of Angel Beats and I haven't finished Clannad, but I generally enjoy the atmosphere of Maeda's stories, so hopefully I will enjoy this one too. The next title is called Noblesse. I believe it's about a vampire that awakens after an 820-year slumber and starts going to an ordinary high school in order to protect himself from the enemies that are after him. Miles states supernatural, action, vampire, and school as the show's genres, but the trailer also has a hint of comedy in it. So I don't really know what to expect from this one, but it's based on a Korean web manga and I think has all the prerequisites to become popular. If you're familiar with the source material, please write in the comments below how you feel about it. Next comes a fantasy romance based on a light novel, and it expectedly has a long title: Our Last Crusade or The Rise of a New World. It's about the heads of two countries in war that fall in love and try to put an end to the fighting. Though I usually like light novel adaptations, I think I'll pass on this one because the premise doesn't sound very compelling to me. The Journey of Elaina tells a story about a traveling witch who is trying to find a disciple that would continue her journey across the world. The animation and character design of this title look very cute, and it also gives me some Kiki's Delivery Service vibes. So I think it's worth checking out if you like lighthearted adventure stories in fantasy settings. Ikebukuro Westgate Park has the theme that I'm not at all interested in, which is gang rivalry. It's about a 21-year-old guy who's friends with a gang leader. He helps the gang to resolve conflicts by using his cool head. But, quote, the death of his girlfriend and an escalating turf war with a rival gang threaten to be more than he can handle. If this is a genre that you enjoy, then you'll probably like it, but I'll definitely pass on this one. There is not much information about the anime called Akudama Drive, but it also seems to be about gangs and the criminal world. And as I mentioned, I don't usually enjoy titles that cover these topics, so I'm going to skip this one too. The next title is called Moriarty the Patriot. I think most of you know that Moriarty is the main villain of the novels about Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle. So, the events of this anime take place in the British Empire in the late 19th century. And as I understood, it's going to be a story about him becoming Sherlock Holmes' rival. As for me, I don't normally pursue titles set in the countries other than Japan because I really enjoy the cultural aspect when watching anime. Of course, there are lots of fantasy titles that are set in imaginary worlds, but they still often have a Japanese twist to them, unlike anime based on novels by British or American authors. I understand that it's still a Japanese product, so it will have the specific anime only atmosphere, but unless it's a very well known or globally praised title, I don't usually go for watching such shows. I'm Standing in 1 Million Lives tells a story about a guy who gets transported to an unknown world with his classmates and gets assigned the worst role out of all of them, a farmer. This is a plot that we have already seen several times, but if I understand correctly, it's not gonna be a fully isekai show, because the premise says that by completing quests in the fantasy world, they will protect the real world from monsters, which sounds quite appealing to me. So I think I'll check it out to see if it brings anything new to a story about a weak character rising up in a fantasy world. Actually, there is one more show in this season that has a similar premise. It's called Talentless Nana, and it also has a protagonist who fights evil with a group of peers, but unlike them, has no special powers and has to rely on one's wits. Another fantasy show of the season is gonna be Assault Lily Bouquet, that tells a story about girls who are trained to use special weapons to protect the world from mysterious creatures. To tell you the truth, this premise sounds kinda generic, and I'm not sure if I'm interested enough to really check it out. This fall we'll also have two fully isekai shows. One is called By the Grace of the Gods and tells a story about a 39-year-old man reincarnated in a fantasy world as a young boy. I'm sure I've already heard this kind of premise before. Maybe the execution will bring something new to the table, but it's very unlikely that I'm going to check it out. Though my husband, who's a huge isekai fan, will certainly go for it. And the second isekai title of the season is called Kuma 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 Bear, and it tells a story about a girl who got sucked into a game she had been playing where she has to fight in a bear costume, which she finds embarrassing. This one sounds kind of stupid, but again, if you are into VR MMO isekai shows, you might enjoy it. Sport Climbing Girls is just the way it sounds. It's another anime about girls doing unconventional sports. But I'm personally not a fan of sports anime in general, even the most popular titles like Basketball Kuroko or Haikyuu, so it's definitely not for me. The plot of the next anime, called Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle, sounds interesting. It's about a princess who is imprisoned in the Demon King's castle and is waiting for her rescue. She tries to while away the long hours by sleeping but finds herself suffering from insomnia. They don't give too much away in the premise, but based on the show's genres that are slice of life and comedy, I can assume that the princess will end up being the one torturing her captors in order to overcome her boredom. So we'll see if I'm right about this. And the last title that I would like to talk to you about today is one that I think will have several short but cute episodes. It's called With a Dog and a Cat, Every Day's Fun. It's about a woman who owns an innocent dog and an adorably devious cat and her life with them. I think it would be a great show to chill with after a long working day. So, these were the most anticipated fall 2020 anime titles and my predictions about their plots and popularity. In general, I think there are a lot of great shows to check out, so I hope you all find something for yourself. If it's so, please share in the comments below the titles that you are going to watch. Also, subscribe to my channel and click the little bell icon to get notifications about all my new videos. I hope to see you all soon. Bye!